Video, I'm going to be comparing the Meet the Parents trilogy to A Dog's Purpose as well as a Dog's Journey. The reason for that is that in part one of this series, I compared the Meet the Parents trilogy to the Home Alone franchise. I compared Dog's Purpose and A Dog's Journey to the two different versions of Judge Dredd. So now I'm going to be comparing A Dog's Purpose slash Journey to Meet the Parents. When you look at highest score for each franchise, the first Meet the Parents movie has an 85%. When you look at Dog's Purpose and A Dog's Journey, A Dog's Journey has a 53%. When you look at lowest score, the third movie in the Meet the Parents trilogy, The Little Fockers, only has a 9%. The first movie, A Dog's Purpose, has a 35%. When you look at average score, we actually have a tie here. Both franchises have an average of 44. And then when you look at gap between lowest and highest score, in the case of A Dog's Purpose as well as A Journey, you have a gap of 18%, whereas Meet the Parents, you have a gap of 76%. So thus far, Meet the Parents has won 2 points. One of the rounds was a tie, and then Dog's Purpose slash Journey won one of the rounds. Now we're going to look at my personal opinion. Which franchise do I prefer? And in this case, I'm definitely going to say A Dog's Purpose and Journey. Part of that is because I like feel-good, emotionally powerful dog movies. I actually watched A Dog's Way Home in theaters. Me and my parents together watched A Dog's Journey in theaters as well. Plus, me and my dad watched this movie literally called Dog. I've also seen Marmaduke, Marley and Me. I definitely like this kind of movie. And also, I enjoy both A Dog's Purpose and A Dog's Journey. I like that they tell this emotionally powerful story about a dog named Bailey who really is fond of this human Ethan and Ethan's family. And then the movies also explore the idea that you have a dog who will die and then come back to Earth as a different dog, who will basically be reincarnated as a different dog, a different breed, and at least in one case, a different sex, actually, because most of the time Bailey is a male dog, but in one case during these two movies, we see he actually comes back as a female dog. I think that's an interesting idea because while obviously there are other emotionally powerful dog movies, they're not ones that explore this idea of a dog dying and then coming back as a different dog. And when it comes to Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and Little Fockers, I think Meet the Parents is a pretty funny movie. I enjoy that one a lot. I like the acting here. I think the story is engaging. The visuals are quite good. Obviously, these movies are not flashy visually. They're not like a Marvel movie, Star Wars, anything like that, where there's really flashy things going on. But the visuals get the job done. And I also like in the first film, you have this guy who is about to marry this lady, but because of that, he has to go over and meet the parents. And then he learns that this girl's father, Jack, as a result of being in the CIA for a long time, doesn't trust people easily, tends to get suspicious, and also there's a history of him turning away people who wanted to marry his daughter because he has high standards. And then throughout the runtime of Meet the Parents, as a result of a combination of unfortunate accidents, things that the girl says or does, or things that this guy says or does, Jack doesn't like his potential son-in-law. But then at the end of the movie, Jack actually is changed to the point that he's fine with this guy marrying his daughter. And then you get to Meet the Fockers, and in this case the twist is that the guy has to actually meet his wife's parents. So he comes, actually, no, what am I saying? In the sequel, Meet the Fockers, the girl actually is meeting her husband's family, meeting her husband's parents. And we see that the two of them have quite different families because the guy's family is more carefree, whereas the girl's family, especially, of course, in the case of Jack, are more stern, more serious. So the two families are not getting along at all. And then that's resolved by the end of the movie. When you get to Little Fockers, it just feels like, really? How many times are we going to keep doing this? How many times is Jack going to distrust his son in law? We've seen this before. Why do we keep doing this? So it's just not interesting anymore. You even have that problem a little bit with Meet the Fockers. In some ways, it kind of feels like a rehash of the first film. I think it works better there because you have the formula of the first film turned on its head, where now the lady is meeting her husband's parents or husband's family. That changes things up somewhat. But then you get to the third film, and it's like, we're running on low here in the gas tank. So I would definitely choose A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Journey, but Meet the Parents already won 2 rounds, so it's gonna win this debate because it was ahead before we looked at my personal opinion. That'll wrap things up for this one.